say, I think that looking back, I've been really lucky. I had started off, even before I was a teenager, teaching myself about computers without even access to them. And somehow, kind of in the end of that era, when I was an early teen, I managed to convince a bookstore owner to that he needed to buy a computer and I would program it for him to automate his textbook business. So I had never actually done that before, right? I had never laid my hands on that kind of computer before. I had never written a program like that before. And the guy believed me and he did it and he hired me and I spent, that was a part-time job that stuck with me actually until I was in my mid-20s. So for like 11 years, I had this part-time job automating the textbook business of a neighborhood bookstore. And the thing that's so amazing that I'm so grateful for is that this guy had this faith in me and put this trust in me. And then I'm even more amazed that it actually kind of worked out, right? And I spent all those years doing it and it helped their business and all that. But it was a great experience and it was a great way to kick off my actual early career as a professional programmer. When I was really young, my dad took me to a library at Columbia University where they had installed these terminals to connect to Columbia's mainframe. And I saw this stuff for the first time and something clicked and a light bulb went off over my head and I thought, this is how I want to spend the rest of my life. I think it was kind of this concept that you could get this machine to do whatever you wanted if you just knew how to phrase it, right? And this idea that you had such control and that these were such amazing devices that the computer was like this anything box you could shape to solve any kind of problem you can imagine if you just knew how to do it. And it was incredibly addictive. Even before I was actually able to lay my hands on a computer, it was just addictive to know that that power was out there. And it was almost an obsession for me to try to get access and figure out how I was going to be able to use these things and work with them and learn about them. My parents are both historians, and I think they thought I was some kind of freak child that had been dropped in their family by accident. And so they bought the computer for me, thinking for sure in 6 months they'd be selling it used, right? And lucky for me, they were very, very wrong. I'm Ben Freed. I'm Google's Chief Information Officer, and I'm a Vice President of the company. I lead a team that's responsible for the technology that Googlers use to get their work done. And that could be things like the laptop and phone that you use, or the video conferencing that you use in a conference room, or the phone on your desk maybe, but it's also all the software that Googlers use every day in their work. I spend an awful lot of time actually in meetings, mostly meeting with my teams, trying to understand what they're doing and what I as a leader can do to help them. Then I spend a lot of time also talking to our customers, people inside the company, so I can understand what my teams need to do and how we can better do our work. When I came and joined Google, the team that I led, it needed a lot of help. And it was a huge challenge for me to figure out what I needed to do as a leader to help them. And I just remember at one point realizing, if I keep on showing up and just keep on putting in the effort every day, we'll get through this. In spite of how hard it was, and in spite of the fact that I would leave work thinking, I have no idea how I'm going to solve this problem or that problem or whatever it was. Eventually, showing up worked. Being too stubborn and too stupid to know when to quit was actually what led to me succeeding in an incredibly challenging situation. The one great constant in the technology industry is its history of change and the speed of that change. So no education is going to give anyone the skills they need for an entire career. So you've got to have curiosity. You've got to have a lifetime of curiosity and a dedication to a lifetime of learning, because the tools and technology that we use in this industry are always going to be changing. Great tech skills are really important, but the important thing about a technology is that it serves people and it serves the interests of people. You have to like people, you have to like helping them, you have to have empathy and sympathy for their problems. That is the most important thing. There's no corner of our lives or of industry or of government or of society that IT and technology don't play a role in. And these are skills that don't just help you in your job, but they can help you with every facet of your life, and they're going to be relevant to everything that we do in our lives for as far into the future as anyone can predict. So try this program out. If you can learn this material, if you like this material, then you could have a great career in technology, and don't worry about the other stuff.